Hello everyone, a very good evening. Welcome to the CAIIB Foundation June 2025 series for the BRBL paper. And in this series, we are discussing all the units module wise. We are covering the whole syllabus. And today, we'll be discussing the unit 32 from our module D, which is the right to information and obligations of public authorities. In the previous chapter, we studied the various provisions of the Right to Information Act. Now we will see how and what information can be sought by the public from the public officers and how the information will be provided to them. So what is the procedure? Let us start. First, we said that there will be a public information officer that will deal with the requests from the person who are seeking information. And this information, if I want to have any information or seek any information, I need to make a request in writing, right? So, in writing, I need to make this request. If, however, the request cannot be made in writing, to render reasonable assistance to the person to reduce the same in writing. So, the PIO will help the people who want to seek any information to make an application in writing. Then, if the information requested for is held or is the subject matter of any other public authority or a third party, then the PIO will transfer within 5 days the request to that other public authority and inform the applicant immediately. And the PIO may also seek assistance from any other officer for the proper discharge of her or his duties. So every public authority has to maintain all the records duly catalogued and indexed, which facilitates the right to information, and all the records that are appropriate to be computerized within a reasonable time and subject to availability of resources all over the country on different systems so that access to such records is facilitated, right? So the public authority will maintain this information and they have to publish within 120 days from the enactment of the act all the particulars of the organization. We have studied about the details, the powers and duties of its employees, the procedure followed in the decision making, the norms set by it for the discharge of its functions, rules, regulations, instructions, manuals, which are very similar to the memorandum and articles of association that we have studied in the company law. Apart from that, a directory of its officers and the employees, a register will be prepared. The particulars of the recipients of concessions, permits, or authorizations. They will publish all the relevant facts while formulating the important policies or announcing the decisions. And they will also provide reasons for its administration or quasi judicial decisions. And all of this information can be sought by any citizen. So we have seen how the PIO will accept the application. Then when the officer receives the request, they should as soon as possible and within 30 days of the receipt of the request, they will either provide the information on payment of such fee as may be prescribed or reject the request for any reason specified. Now, when they are rejecting the request for, let's say, any information is confidential or it is something which is not to be made public, they can reject the application, but they have to reply to the applicant with the applicable reasons, right? Where the information requested for concerns the life or liberty of a person, the same shall be provided within 48 hours of the receipt of the request. So, if it is something very necessary, then that information will be provided within 48 hours. Otherwise, within 30 days, the information has to be given. Then, if we talk about the disposal of the request, if let's say within the specified period, the PIO fails to give a decision. If they fail to give the information or they fail to give the reply rejecting the application, then he shall be deemed to have refused the request. And They have to communicate to the requester the reasons for such rejection, the period within which an appeal against such rejection may be preferred, and the particulars of the appellate authority to which the higher appeal can be preferred. So, although the rejection will be only in exceptional cases, the PIO shall provide the information in the form in which it is sought, unless it would disproportionately divert the resources of the public authority, or it will be detrimental to the safety or preservation of the record in question. So if let's say complete information is provided, that is fine. If, however, only partial access is being provided to the applicant, then the PIO shall also inform the applicant that only part of the record requested will be given. Then the reasons for the decision, including any findings on any material question of fact, the name and designation of the person giving the decision, the details of the fees calculated by her or him, and the amount of fee which the applicant is required to deposit, and her or his rights with respect to review of the decision regarding non-disclosure. So if any public authority from which the information is requested, they take the decision that only part or partial access or partial information will be given, then why this decision has been given, who has given this decision, the fees payable, everything in the notice will be given to the applicant by the PIO, right? And if, let's say, the information is sought, has been supplied by a third party, or is treated as confidential by the third party, then again a written notice to the third party within 5 days from the receipt of the request and take its representation into consideration. So if a third party information is to be furnished, then 5 days notice, within 5 days the notice has to be sent to the third party, and the party must be given a chance to make representation before the PIO within 10 days. Then regarding the payment of fees, a mere fee of rupees 10 has to be paid by the applicant, and it can be paid in cash against proper receipt or by the demand draft of a banker's check. Then regarding the disposal, we have already seen as soon as possible when the application is received by another public authority or the information is more closely connected with a third party, then the application will be transferred within 5 days of the receipt of the application, and the applicant will also be informed about the transfer. Then if we have information which is related to a third party means a person other than the citizen making a request for information, and it includes a public authority. So when the Central Public Information Officer intends to disclose any information which is supplied by a third party and has been treated as confidential, then within 5 days from the date of receipt, they have to give a written notice to such third party. So if a third party information is to be provided to the applicant, then the PIO will give a notice within 5 days to the third party that such and such information will be furnished. And if the request is rejected, request for the information is rejected, then it will also be intimated to the applicant in written notice. For, let's say, providing access would involve an infringement of copyright subsisting in a person other than the state. All right. And third party information we have seen. Okay. So informations which relate to the personal information of the disclosure which has no relationship to any public activity or interest, or it would cause unwarranted invasion of privacy of the individual, can be rejected, right? So these provisions are there regarding the third party. And obviously the appeal can also be made. So the Central Information Commission will be constituted by the central government. The state governments also have the power to constitute a state body which will be known as the State Information Commission, and they will act as the appellate authority. All right, they will act as the appellate authority. So any person can file an appeal who has been unable to submit a request to the PIO, or his application was refused, or who has been refused access to any information. Those people who have not received any response to a request for information, who have not they have required to pay a fee which is considered unreasonable. The applicant feels that they have been given incomplete, misleading, or false information, so they can file an appeal to the CIC or the SIC, right? And then if we talk about the penalties, so the Central Information Commission has the power to impose a penalty of 250 rupees for each day till the information is furnished, subject to a maximum of 25,000, right? So the commission has power to recommend taking disciplinary action also against the central PIO under the services rule if the CIC is satisfied that without reasonable cause the PIO is persistently failed to receive an application for the information, that has not furnished the information within a specified time period, any malified intent denied the request for information, knowingly the PIO is giving incorrect, incomplete, or misleading information, they have destroyed the information which was the subject of request, or they have obstructed in furnishing the information. So if any of these actions were taken by the public information officer, then penalties can be imposed by the Central Information Commission. All right, so that is all about this chapter. And if you want to study this chapter and the other syllabus, the complete syllabus, then you have to join us in the CAIIB Super Elite All-in-One plan, where you'll get live classes covering the full syllabus, mock tests, as well as downloadable PDF notes. And if you join the course now, you can use the code SHIV, which is the Shivratri success sale, and it ends tomorrow. Using this code, you can get flat 52% off on your subscription. So join the course now, start with your preparation. And if you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because these sessions are very important for your preparation. I will see you again tomorrow with the next chapter. You can also download the PDF from the link which is given in the description box. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can let me know in the comment section. So thank you and all the